Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. Before we get started, please consider subscribing to my channel and possibly becoming a patron. Now this video is about setting up Aileron Differential in your RadioMaster Zorro radio in EdgeTX. Now Aileron Differential is when the downgoing aileron moves less in proportion to the upgoing aileron. This will help cause less drag. Now we can also do this with a delta model, and I have a video in my OpenTX playlist that will show you how to do this. And it will be the same in EdgeTX. So let's switch over to our computer first and take a look at Companion, Companion, and then we'll have a look at it on the radio. I've already opened up my backup, so let's go and have a look at the flight modes. Now you can see in here where the global variables are. I've set up one at 60%, one at 70, and one at minus 100. So it's global variable 1, 2, and 3. So when we go to the mixes, you can see we have to have two servos and two channels for this to be able to operate. If you're using a Y lead, you would not be able to do this. So let's go to channel 1. Our first line, you can see, is our input source is aileron, and our weight, our offset, are 0, and our curve is 100. And our switch C in the forward position. Now this would be when we have no differential. So then we'd add a line. Now to add a line, we just right click and say add. I'm not going to do that because I've already got a line. Then you'll edit that line and it will be source aileron input. The weight is going to be GV1 and the offset 0 and the curve 100. And I'll switch SC in the middle position. Now that will give us our first smaller amount of differential. Okay, we go on to the next line, and our source is input aileron. Our weight is global variable 2, our offset 0, and our curve 100. And I'll switch in the back position, so that will give us our different amount of differential. So okay, then we must have this line here to make this operate. So it's the source is aileron input. We've got global variable 3, offset 0, curve 0, and then no switch. Now all you're going to do is repeat this for the next servo. So we go down to the next channel. I'll quickly go through them, let you have a look at them. You can see all the figures here. Go on to the second one. It's a duplication of the other servo. Okay, and the final line. Now these plus GVs, or if they were minus GVs, will depend on the orientation of the servos within your aeroplane. So you must check this very carefully before you fly your aeroplane. So that is everything. We don't need to do anything else, but let's demonstrate it. We're going to the simulation. And we'll click page. So now we can see our ailerons. So we're going to see two channels move. Okay, let's just switch that to our no differential. So you can see both ailerons on the top lines are moving equally. We click our switch into our switch C into the middle position, and you can see our lower one is going down less. And then we can click to our second amount, and you can see it's even moving even less. Now, I've set this up on a switch. I wanted to show you using global variables for this. So at the field, you could go back to the global variable and change the figure. But I would suggest once you've done this, I would take it off the switch and just set the aileron differential manually. And then once it's set, it's set. Now, let's switch over to the radio and we'll have a quick look at the settings on the radio. Okay, now let's take a look at the settings on the radio. We're going to hit the model key. And we're going to go across until we get to the flight modes. And you can see, obviously it looks different on our radio than it does in EdgeTX Companion. So we're going to edit our first line, flight mode 0. And you can see we've got the global variables there. We've got global variable 1, 2, and 3, 60, 70, and minus 100. So now we're going to come out of there. Whoops a daisy, came too far. Then we're going to go across until we get to the mixes. Now, as you can see, we've got two channels, channel 1 and 5 for the ailerons. And we're just going to go through the first one. And our first line, we're going to edit. And you can see source input, aileron, weight 0, offset 0, curve, which is diff 100. And I'll switch C in the forward position. And that will be it for that line. Then we would add a line. And we do that by holding down and say insert after. I'm going to come back out. And then you'll edit that line. And it will be source aileron input. Global variable is weight is global variable 1. Offset 0. Diff 100%. And switch SC in the middle position. Then we come out, we go into our next line, and we edit. Our source is aileron input. We're now on the weight is global variable 2. Our offset 0, our diff 100, and our switch in the back position. Then to make this work, we will need to put the final line in, which is source aileron input, weight global variable 3, offset 0, diff 0, and there will be no switch. So we come back out. Now you can see we replicate those on our channel 5. And you must also, as I've said earlier, you will need to check whether these have to be minus G1 or plus G1 depending on the way the servos are installed in your wing. So let's come out and let's demonstrate it working. So we come out to our opening screen, use our page, oops, too far, come back. And there we go. So if I use my ailerons, because I fly mode 1, and you can see they're going to the full throw. Flick the switch, middle position, and you can see the downgoing aileron is moving a lot less now. And if I switch again, you'll see, there we go, a lot less. So that's it demonstrated. And there we go. I hope you found that video useful. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below because I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Happy flying. Bye for now.